Mike Ball. This is the Maul It Over podcast. Today. Hey, look. I forgot what I was going to talk about. Or did I fail to do it? Man, look. Hold on. Y'all going to have to hold on a second. Let me look at my phone real quick. I don't need to look at my phone. Hey, what I just did is what a lot of people do in life. Today's show, we going to discuss how failure to plan is planning to fail. A lot of times we step out with these ideas, inventions, all types of stuff, and we never truly plan it out. I mean, not just plan it to, hey, I'm going to start something, but plan it to, hey, I'm going to start it. This is how it's going to go. If it starts to go another way, I need to have a plan to rectify that situation, to put it back on track. Failure to launch. So like when we do stuff, and as a podcaster and an encourager and a promoter of people, I come and tell you guys to start, put your best foot forward, go out and do some things. Let's add in some little caveats to before you launch. First, let's make sure we talk about, do you have a plan? What is your plan? And have you checked your plan with another plan just in case your plan goes awry? A lot of times we don't have the backup plan. So like I started a landscaping business once, and I just knew, since I like cutting grass, I like doing yards, I like doing mulch, all that, that was the way to go. I knew it was like nothing to me to do this. It was a landscaping business. I can do it. I've seen it. Anything I see, I believe I can do. I'm one of them people. If I see somebody do it, I don't get jealous about it. I believe I can do it too. So I go out, I try to make it happen. I try to do whatever it is I believe I can do. God told me whatever I put my hands to, I can be good at it. So I try to be good at everything. I'm not always great. Basketball, I'm decent. I'm not good. I'm definitely not a good scorer. I tell you that right now. This is a true story. This is me. Shame on myself. I'm not a great scorer, but I am always going to try to be one of the most hardest hustling people on the court. A man got to know where he's good and where he ain't good at. So no, I'm not the best scorer, but I'm out hustle anybody that's there. I don't care if it's to the point where I'm about to pass out from exhaustion. I'm going to try to out hustle anybody there, whether it's taking charges, whatever. I'm going to be him. All that to say, look, it's a lot of times when we don't have a good plan and we just launch out here and we go out here and we venture off and do these things, we have not properly prepared ourselves to be great and to be propelled to the next level. Properly prepared to be propelled. I like that. Anyway, when I started my landscape business, I knew I could do it because I just thought in my head I could do it. I get out there, I start cutting grass, boom, boom. Well, now equipment breaks. I got to have a plan to have it fixed. I had to go to Joy Wilson, the tax lady, so she could give me some game on how to even conduct business and how you had to separate your business money from your personal money. And when something breaks in your business, don't use your personal money to get it fixed. You got to keep that business money to keep getting it fixed, because at tax time, you got to figure out how this all work out. You got to have a plan to keep those separate. And sometimes you're going to want to combine them, because you might be low in your personal funds, but you might have $2,000, $3,000 in your business fund. You're like, I can just pull from that. First couple years determines if a business will fail or succeed. You don't want your business to fail. And if you ain't properly prepared yourself for the ups and downs of business, 9 times out of 10, you will fail. Like I said, I've heard someone say numerous times in different seminars, venues, that failure to plan is planning to fail. Improper planning makes guaranteed failure. So when you think of that and think about opportunities you had, how many of them times can you say you went into a situation without having all the tools you needed and you failed? Or did you? We really don't believe in failure, but you learned how not to do something. So people that believe in luck say is when opportunity meets preparation, that's when you have what they call luck. I don't really believe in luck, but I do believe that when opportunity meets preparation, success is possible. In all things, you have to understand that you have to be ready. Now y'all know I gotta give you a little Bible. The Bible say be instant, in season, and out. So you gotta be ready for whatever happens, whether it's your time or not, because your time is always in time. Because when God has a plan for you, it might not come while you're planning it. It comes in His timing for your success. So you got to look at it like, if you want to be a rapper, you can't just write rap some days and say, well, you know, I'm going to go out, I'm going to chase this person, I'm going to do this, and that's going to happen. Okay, cool. What happened when you just walking through the grocery store, you don't got no CDs on you, you ain't got no tapes on you, you know, you ain't wrote a rap in 2-3 years, you walk into like a mega producer or Jay-Z or Beyonce if you're a singer or whatever, and you trying to recite a rap that you said 4 years ago, and you thought it was hard then, but the punchlines don't even line up to what's going on today. So they like, man, you know, you sound good, man, but you sound like you need to bring yourself up to date. You know, you sound good, but you don't want all them you sound good or I can see where you was going with that, but you want to take the buts out of conversation. Buts or subordinating conjunctions only get in the way. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to properly flow, spit, sing, whatever it is. If you're a songwriter, you want to be able to say, hey, let me send you this document so that you can see what this is. Well, you don't want to send it to them. First of all, don't send them your music. You can show it to them, give them a brief idea, synopsis of it, but don't send it to them because everybody ain't good for you. Some people leeches, man. I don't care how famous they is. They still steal music. If they didn't, it wouldn't be so many artists suing record companies, other companies, and artists for what they do. And I just seen Boosie going up through it with like Rod Wave and Kodak Black or somebody like that. I seen some crazy stuff going on a couple months ago. So don't give them your music. But, I mean, you can give them a little pitch of what you're trying to do and see if that's something they can do. If you're going into a business meeting, say you're going to meet with some board execs, you want to go in there. They won't even see you a lot of times if you don't have a 5-year plan. They're telling you right then, if you don't have a plan for 5 years, you're wasting my time. I was watching Shark Tank last night, and that was one of the things. The girl kept saying, you know, we just started, and this. He says, well, what's your plan if you leave here without it? What will you do next? Well, I don't know. I'm going to just have to figure it out. And he was like, I really hoped you had something better to say. Because they want to see that you got the same drive. You're asking them for money. Or you're going to a bank, you're asking for a loan, a small business loan, a big business loan, a car loan. They want to know what you're going to do. They want to know what the plan is. That's why they ask for receipts. That's why they ask for you to show them what you already done so that they can properly project what you will do. Come on, y'all. We got to do better. And by us failing to plan, those of us who have children, we actually are failing our children because we're not even planning what they're going to do in their next. When we leave here, they're next. And their next teaches the next behind them. So we already see that the current generation's next is a little questionable. So we have to now take what we have, reshape it, remold it, and try to build with what we got to make these kids understand what next really is. You have to be prepared for next. It's so much chaos going on in our heads, but I get it. Sometimes you get an idea or you feel like God led you to an idea and you just ready to run with it and you haven't planned it. You just like, God gave it to me, that says it was it, I'm on my way. Okay, that's cool. God said that I should become a doctor. Okay, well, how you gonna go to school? He said what you could do. He didn't necessarily set the course. Sometimes he leaves a little window for you to kind of think some stuff through first. He always has the perfect plan set up, but he kind of wants your input to see what you gonna do. He doesn't need your help. Let's not get that twisted. You know the old cliche, God loves a child who has his own. That's nowhere in the Bible. But it is telling us, as an old phrase or cliche, to get us motivated to believe that we should start doing some stuff, and then God will come and do it. Now, realizing that God is there the whole time. Just because he ain't moving the pieces don't mean he ain't watching over the board. He's still there. So you got to know that what you're doing and how you're doing it, even if God gave it to you, you still have a duty to carry it. God gave the ark, for the covenant to the people. He could have got it there himself. He could have told them to build it there, but instead he had them carry it. So they had to figure out how they would do it. And the ark wasn't light. Now, I know to my non-spiritual folk, this is a little bit much. Because you're like, what's the Ark of the Covenant? That's a whole nother story. We'll talk about a whole nother day. But just look at it like this. You got this big thing. It weighed roughly 6,000 pounds. Take about 12 people to carry it. How you going to get that from Cleveland to Akron without it breaking, scratching, or being damaged? That's the best way to look at it. And you can't use a Tahoe. You got to walk. So you got to really have some people with you that's ready to step up, take over, and step in when they're needed. You have to prepare, plan, so that you can propel to the next level. If you do not, you will fail. Because why? Fatigue. Fatigue happens in life. Fatigue happens in planning. Fatigue happens in everything. Business, you get fatigued. I don't care how successful it is, you still will hit a point where fatigue sets in. Man, this is a lot. Sometimes, even stuff that ain't fatigue, you just have normal things that go wrong, or what they say, when everything is going good, watch out because something bad's about to come. You might run an automotive shop and you've been having all these great things going on, and all of a sudden, boom, a car blows up. Well, guess what? Now you got to replace a car. And let's say it was a nice car. Let's say it was a G-Wagon. Now you got to replace a $100,000 car, so your insurance got to pay that. Granted, you pay let's say you pay whatever you pay to your insurance, but you still got to have a plan to have the insurance. You still got to have a plan to know that this is a contingency that could happen. If you don't have the plan, you have automatically failed before you ever started. That's why I figured this is a good time, y'all. Failure to launch. A lot of my ideas, I've been sitting and thinking and trying to put them together and bring them together and talk about them and bring all this. And guess what? They failed to launch because I haven't planned them properly. When I come and talk to y'all, sometimes I'm not just talking to y'all. I'm talking to me too, because I need to hear this. So I figure, hey, if I need to hear it, somebody else might need to hear it too. And that's just how it is. We sometimes have so much going on in our lives that we forget to stay the course. Now, I was just talking to my wife at dinner not too long ago about, how my homeboy Donnie was telling me about running in a marathon. And I was all pumped because my dude, he had did the full marathon. I'm just asking him, like, man, what was it like? And he said, man, why don't you come running with me? So this morning or evening, whenever we went, that particular time, I'm like, all right, I get out there. Now, mind you, he used to running, so he's prepared. I wasn't. I was used to running when I used to box and all that, but I hadn't ran in a long time. So I just told him, I just want to do a mile, bro, and just, keep it going. So I'm running, and we talking about him running a marathon to keep me going, keep my mind focused, so I'm not thinking about what I'm running, and hopefully I can finish this mile in a good amount of minutes. He like, bro, first of all, stop rushing. You doing a mile, you're not being timed. This is just to build your endurance. Take your time. We'll walk some. We're going to talk. He was a great coach for getting me through this mile, and I was struggling. You got to understand, I was really struggling. But he told me while we was running, he said, man, I see you keep looking at the ground. I said, yeah, man. He said, we talking, I'm just trying to, tune into the conversation. And man, I'm beat. He said, if you steady looking at the ground, you missing everything that's going on around you. He said, the best part of the run ain't that you necessarily get to the finish line. It's the journey of seeing everything you need to see along the way. Same thing with us. Same thing with life. Same thing with planning. It ain't just about planning something to go straight, because you're going to have some windfalls. You're going to have things that happen that ain't planned. You're going to have things that happen that take you off course. You're going to have things that bring you back and take you back around. Hey, we have to be in a place where we're planning to see these things. Keep your head up when you're running. Look around. See what's going on. See the kids waving. See the bottles rolling across the ground. See the fans with the little signs that say keep going. See the people clapping. See your cousins, nieces, uncles, sisters, whoever else you need to see that's out there cheering you on. Whatever you do, just keep going and keep the plan. Keep the plan. Yes, it's easy to get caught. We still got to stay the course. That don't mean the course don't change. It just means you got to stay on it. You got to keep pushing forward. Because no matter what, in your head, it's only good as what you can manifest in front of you. What you got in your head is only good as what you can manifest in front of you. You can have all these plans and you can't manifest them. They don't do any justice to anyone. Keep pushing forward. Plan it. Plan your attack. Don't just have one plan. We've been hearing it for years. We've been watching Family Matters, seeing all these little shows and all that. And they just got plans after plans. Or what if I don't have a plan? Or what is this? My daughter, she watches Family Matters all the time. I see her all the time watching stuff. And it brings back some of those weird, old nodes to black families and black legacy and all that stuff. The little soft music starts playing and then they drop a jewel on you. And you're like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that. Well, that happened the other day because something she was watching, it cycled through the show and off. And I hear the little music playing. I was like, I think I've seen this episode. And I watched it. And it kind of sparked me up. And it was about what? Planning. It was literally about planning to succeed. What is your plan for success? We got to have one. You got to have one. Whether you planning to be the next president, you got to have one. I think people who become unsuccessful have planned to be unsuccessful. A lot of people you can be around can have an unsuccessful attitude about everything. And you keep hanging around them, and now you become unsuccessful because you didn't have a plan to get away from that person. Sometimes your plans is bigger than just what your vision is. Sometimes your plans, you have to separate the two. Your plan may be to get to the top of the mountain, but that don't mean that you don't have a lot of weight holding you down. So sometimes you got to release that weight and keep climbing and keep looking around to see what else is going up the mountain with you. Hey, I don't have all the answers to a lot of stuff, and this was just my vent to y'all, so I just made it a podcast. And the way I feel is if we don't plan to do better, then we plan to fail. That's just point blank period. We got to plan to do better, y'all. We got to. I mean, a plan is great, especially when you finish it and you reach your goal. You get them endorphins released in your body. You feel good. You actually have a chemical release in your body that tells you this is good. That chemical release is actually the same equivalent of a rush of cocaine. Now, that's not what I say. That's in a book. That was in like one of my psychology books. So don't quote me. Go look it up, and then you bring back the answer to me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's what they equated it to. The chemical of when you do a good thing is the same release that you would get in your body when someone does cocaine. But all that to say, look, I have a plan. We have a plan. You have a plan. And if we don't push our plan forward, if we don't plan it and then plan it again and then plan it again and then stay the course, but while we're in the course, plan to see different things along the way so that we can finish what we start, then we have planned to be doomed. You need a plan for your kids now. I had to have a backup plan for stuff that's going on in my family right now with my kids. I had to have a plan. Single parents, not single, single parents and blended families. You have to have a plan for how the family dynamic will work. You can't have it where you just hey, well, they just gonna do this and they just gonna do this. No. Have a plan. You have to have a plan to get your kids to respect your significant other. Yes, that has to be a part of a plan. You have to plan, hey, you go handle this. I want to see how they react to you. I want you to do this. This is on you. And then when their kids come, they think they're just going to come to me with some stuff sometimes. Because, we in a blended family. And they think they just going to bring everything to me. Dad. I said, don't come to me if, Randy right in the house. What you come to me for? I'm all the way outside. Or you come to me all the way upstairs when you was just in the kitchen with Randy. No, go ask her. I don't play that. My plan is that everybody that's in this house, in this, what we call our kingdom, all the subordinates underneath it, they will adhere to the rulers. And that's it. Look, my last plan is I plan for you to reach out to me at mullletoverpodcast@gmail.com. Reach out to me, questions, comments, concerns, topics even. You get at me, I'll get back at you. And we can have a conversation. Even if it ain't on here, I'll still have a conversation with you outside of here if you don't want to have a conversation on here. But I think, let's open this up. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. If I said something you liked, great. If I said something you didn't like, great. Either way it go, let me know so that I can get better and keep doing better and keep striving to be better. Y'all know what it is. I plan for this to be my time. And it is. That's my time.
God is trying to bless you, let it go. Let it go. Your whole life is in the threshold. Whoever hurt you better let it go. Let it go. Love's the only way to go. Let's go.